All right, y'all. What we got going on now, we got the cab and all off of it. We're going to take and sand, or wire brush, basically, this whole frame. And then we're going to paint it, clean it all up, get all this rust off of it. But I got rust neutralizing paint. Can you believe that? I couldn't either, but that's what they're telling me it is. So we're going with it. We got to take this brace all the way out. It goes away. When you put an automatic in here, that goes away. So we'll get that out. We will, we're gonna have to take this brace loose. You see how it's got an extra hole over there? This brace is gonna have to go in and out to make it fit what we need here. And then we're gonna have to move these up. So these are gonna go up one. That's gonna push our motor forward. This one's going away because you can't mount the transmission on the bell housing on the newer ones. They don't mount like that. So that's going away. That one's got to come forward the same distance those go forward to mount our transmission there and keep everything lined up. When we do that, drive shaft's got to get longer. So they've got a one piece in here. This ain't supposed to have a one piece in it. This is supposed to have a two piece drive shaft in it. It bolts right here. There's two bolts here and there's two bolts there, and there's a carrier that comes out here and a bearing that goes in there that holds all that stuff. So we got to rework that, obviously, and then we're going to put the new brake line in. This brake line goes from back there, comes up, hooks there, comes this way, all right? Comes over, comes to right there and tees, then comes over here, and there's one line that goes up to the master cylinder. We're changing that. We're gonna have two lines. So two comes down. We got it over there. So both of them's gonna come down, hit that. One's gonna go across on the bottom. Well, both of them go across on the bottom. One goes to that brake over there. One goes to this brake. Them two are tied together. And then we got the rear brakes that shoot off of that. So we've got to run, remember on the last video, a couple videos back, we pulled the brake lines off of that 72 so we could have power brakes. We're gonna run those brake lines down, put that rear end in, get all this together. But first we gotta get this painted, and then we'll get our brake lines in it, and then we'll get the suspension under it and all that good stuff. So y'all stay tuned. We'll get back to you here shortly. We're gonna clean some of this stuff up on this frame that we don't need, like this here. This is for a manual transmission. So we're gonna take that off. We don't want it, well, we could have it on here. It wouldn't bother nothing, but we don't really need it. So we're gonna take it off there, get rid of it. Just basically what we're gonna do is clean this frame up and get it all ready for paint. And like I say, I got pour 15 that we're gonna put on it. That's rust neutralizing paint. But we're gonna try our best to get it cleaned up first. So we're gonna scrape it all down, get all this loose stuff off of it, and get it ready and see what we can do with it. So you guys, I just noticed something. Our transmission cross member, number one, our transmission ain't got no transmission mount. That don't make no sense. And it's sitting on an emergency brake bracket. Don't make no sense. So we got to rework all that and figure out exactly what's going on there. Looks like that side over there is bent just ever so slightly. So we'll find that out. The frame ain't bent, just that bracket's bent. So we got to figure out what's going on there. We might need a new cross member, but I happen to know where there's one at. So we'll keep working it. Okay, y'all, we stripped the front end down off of that 72 front end. There's the rest of the frame, and there's the rest of the front end, the bumper. That stuff, the sway bar's still on there. I got to get it off. Somebody has welded that mount on there, so it's going to take a little while to get it off. This one's riveted on, so that's going to be a pain in the butt too. I might have to take that where I have my cutting torch, where I can cut it out of there, and then wash it off, or that's what you call it when you take a cutting torch and you take the back of the metal off that you don't need. Wash it off and get it ready to go under here. I did take one of the brackets off. The other bracket I couldn't get off because the bolts was screwed up. I'll have to break them off. But anyway, the other one I did not do like this, mine. I just unbolted this one. I'm gonna spin it around and slide it right up under there. Bolt it back into that one, I believe. But I gotta get this one unbolted. There's 4 bolts, or 3 bolts. There's 3 bolts here on each side. So you got them 3 bolts, and you got 4 bolts to go in there. Same thing there, 3 there and 4. Same thing there, you got 3 on the bottom, 4 on the top. So we'll slide it under here, get it lined up. Do the same thing, the tie rod ends and all are the same. I'm gonna use these old shocks off of this truck, put them onto that truck. Should work all right. There's your 3 bolts there. Okay, and your 4 go in the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna pull these brackets off first. The engine mounts, I had to do these the same way. There's the engine mounts for the old one. And we'll slide that front end up under here. I gotta knock tie rod ends loose. And we'll slide it in there and get it ready to go back. Get this one ready to go up under there. Slide it under there. I am looking for some wheels. I don't like them 20s. I want something classy to go on. I've been thinking about buying some rally wheels for it, but rallies right now are getting crazy expensive, so I don't know if I'll do that or not. But I got slide up under here. The bottom ones are 3/4, so there's 6 3/4 underneath it. I'm gonna pull those probably first, because I don't want to be under there trying to pull those while that, you know, and let it fall. I mean, that would be stupid. So I'm gonna pull the other ones first. I'm gonna pull the bottom ones first and then pull the top ones. That way it'll hold it up till I let it down. I'm gonna jack it up and put it on some jack stands where it's easier for this big boy to get up underneath there. Get up under there, do what I need to do, knock them loose, get it ready to come out, and then I'll turn the camera back on and show you some more. Okay, guys and gals and everybody else out there watching. For y'all that want to know about this, this is a 71 front end. That's what the title says. It's a 71 5 lug. I ain't never did this before, but I took that whole assembly out. See, I flipped my tie rod ends up. I just pulled the whole assembly. When I did that, all the bolts were different. Like, different meaning this one come out of the 65. This one had a 5/8 head on it. Well, the same one out of that truck had a 11/16 head on it. So I was scared that I was going to have to re-drill all these holes. Well, you don't. They all line up. It's all right. The 3 in the bottom there, they're actually 1/2-inch holes, but the ones that they had in there wasn't 1/2-inch. It was a little smaller than 1/2-inch, but they still had the holes punched in the frame at 1/2-inch. So all this is going to work out fine. I still got my brake line there. I got my 2 brake lines over here. So I just got it in here. The problem was you can't hardly get it in there with them wheels on there because the thing's doing all this. Okay, y'all, we got this thing done. I flipped this thing up where we can see here. Right there is the 3 main bolts that hold each side. That bolt down here is the motor mount bolt. So you got that, and it just basically bolts right in there, no problem. The tie rod ends bolt up. Everything bolts just like it should. No problem whatsoever. So if you got one of these and you want to make a 5 lug, you want to put a little better suspension under it, that's the way to do it. Give me a thumbs up for filming it. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already, and we'll catch you on the next one.